cunningly developed ads that will still get the message across whilst in fast forward mode. So you will still get messages through to people even in that situation, you know. For advertisers, video on demand is still an expensive business to be in. You know, you still have to acquire content. Content's expensive. In fact, if you look at content consumption, in Africa will be no different to any other part of the world. Local content is key. So it's not just about Hollywood blockbuster movies or English Premier League, which clearly has a role to play in people's consumption patterns, but local content, local language, local cultural issues and so on is also as important. But it's not quite as expensive, but it's not cheap either. So the cost of producing content is always going to be significant. And you know, you've got to defray the cost through advertising. So there's always going to be a demand for advertisers in any form of content consumption, whether that's live broadcast, you know, linear programming, or whether it's in the video on demand game.
But how do you then integrate that into on demand? Because on demand is what I want to see when I want to see.
Well, you know, for instance, when you look at your video on demand menu, and you've got to select movies or programs or sports or documentaries, you can have more context-sensitive advertisements on the screens, for instance. We're not seeing much of that now. But there's a lot of space on the screen before people select their content they want to view that you can use to get messages across.
So do you see sponsored content going forward?
Yeah, I can see a lot more of that. It's inevitable. It's just a latent advertising opportunity that we're going to see captured in the short term. Yeah.
How much do you think the market is worth in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, over the next 5 to 10 years?
Hard to put a number on it, but globally the advertising spend is in the order of $200 billion. And of course, you know, the African middle class is growing considerably. We reckon by the end of this decade another 100 million people will be added into the African middle class, which is classified as people who spend between $5 and $20 per day. So there's a wallet there to be tapped into. There's no question about it. So advertisers are obviously keen to access that wallet. And it's not just about TV content, it's about all form of consumer business that can be advertised through the medium of the different devices as people are consuming media content.
Oh, cool.